Hello, Daily Drafters, and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. I believe we need two more wins than losses today to make it into Mythic to end this season. Let's see if we can do it. Starting with our Pack 1 Pick 1 of today's premier draft of Murders at Karlov Manor with the exact same Pack 1 Pick 1 as yesterday. Intrude on the Mind. It's a good card. It, it's it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be in yesterday's draft. We played blue-red. We just usually got ran over a little bit sooner than this mattered, but it's a great card and we just pretty much can't pass it here. There's also a Killer Among Us, and there is Dogwalker here. I think Dogwalker is slightly defensible, but Intrude on the Mind is just too good in my opinion, even to pass for a Dogwalker. So we're just going to go ahead and take Intrude. And interestingly, we're presented with the exact same pick 2 that we had yesterday in Coerce to Kill, which I chose to pass. Now, do I take Krenko's Buzz Crusher here as a 4-mana 4/4 flying trample, which is just pretty good. There's also a Galvanize and a Coerce to Kill and a hard-hitting question. I think that's pretty much what I'm deciding between here, and I think Krenko's Buzz Crusher has the highest upside. So I'll go ahead and take that. No real blue cards to follow it up here. There is a Long Goodbye and a Galvanize here, and I think the tiebreaker between Galvanize and Long Goodbye for me is going to be the fact that I already have a Buzz Crusher that I'm looking to play. I do think Long Goodbye is a better card than Galvanize in a vacuum, though. But because we do have the tiebreaker of Buzz Crusher already, I will go ahead and take that. And honestly, it's starting to look like we're drafting a very similar deck to yesterday. Look, Forensic Researcher on turn 3 into Intrude on the Mind turn 4 is a very powerful curve. There's also Reasonable Doubt. There was one in pack 1 that we could wheel. There's a good amount of black here, but I think I'm just going to stay blue here with Forensic Researcher. And unfortunately, all blue is out of the pack by pick 5, which isn't great for us, but that means we could get hooked up with blue in pack 2. So do I take Case of the Burning Masks, which I think is much more of an aggressive card. If you can't flip this, it's not great. And I don't know if we're going to be in a kind of deck that wants to flip this, so I'm wondering if I should just take Escape Tunnel here and let my mana be slightly better in case I need to splash around if we get pushed off some of our colors here. So I'm actually just going to take the Escape Tunnel over the Case there. Alright, I guess we're drafting blue-red again. Yesterday we went 5-3 with blue-red. It was a good deck. It wasn't an outstanding deck. We also had Intrude on the Mind in that deck. So I guess we take Gadget Technician over everything that's just a whole lot worse than it. And I mean, I hate to say we're locked into blue-red, but darn, we have a pretty good start to it. 2 very good rares and mythics, a very good uncommon, and 2 of the better commons for the archetype too. So you can't really be upset with where we are right now after a few packs. Lots of late murders going around. I don't even want to say late. I think this is about the right time for murder. It's a fine but not outstanding card. Jaded Analyst could be okay because blue-red is a deck that usually investigates quite a bit with things like Out Cold. We could also just take Person of Interest, and if we have to abandon the blue, we could and go into something like red-white with Galvanized Buzz Crusher and Person of Interest. I don't think I need to take Murder or even a Jaded Analyst here. Let's just go ahead and take the Person of Interest. Okay, we'll take Deduce. I think I'd like to consider a bit more of a blue-red controlling deck with things like Deduce, Unauthorized Exits, and Reasonable Doubts here. That way we can hold up just a bunch of instants, Galvanizes, Shocks. Just hold up a bunch of instants on their turn and have options to do things. See, we did get the Reasonable Doubt back, so I think we've got a good option for a blue-based control deck here. Okay, not much here. Don't think I'm playing Criminologist, or honestly, probably not Orangutan either. So just go ahead and throw that in the sideboard. I guess the only thing we're considering here is Knife. So I'll take it and also just throw it into the sideboard. Much more of an aggressive card that we're probably not going to be playing in this deck. I'm looking to be a little bit more controlling, and I think I'm going to get hooked up with controlling blue cards in pack 2. And look, the Reasonable Doubt wheeled as well, which is crazy because that was second to last pick. Not that I think Reasonable Doubt is like the best card, but it goes very well if you're able to pick up a couple of Deduces, a couple of Galvanizes, a couple of unauthorized exits, where you just hold up 2 mana and you just have multiple options of what to do. You can counter their spell, you can bounce their creature, you can kill their creature, you can draw a card, you can just kind of do multiple things. And that toolbox style of gameplay is something that I think we can manage with this deck. Now, we're taking Vannifar here, and we're figuring out a way to put it into the deck, even if that means we don't play red. Or don't play red, because Vannifar is busted. We had a draft earlier this week where we had 2 Vannifars, and we went 7-0 in that draft. The card is outstanding. We're going to splash it, even off of just an escape tunnel. Or we go blue-green, which I'm probably not going to do now that I have a shock in this pack, but there's another Reasonable Doubt that could wheel. I don't think connecting the dots is very good, honestly. I have seen this card in many, many packs, and I have never once felt like I needed to take it. I've never seen it on the battlefield, so maybe I'm wrong, but honestly, it has a very high upside. But its downside is 2 mana, do literally nothing. So let's take shock. And now we have a Reckless Detective, which I played this in yesterday's blue-red deck, and it wasn't very good. Even with the amount of artifacts we were making, it just wasn't particularly great. Gravestone Strider is a way to splash Vannifar, but I think I'm just going to take another Gadget Technician here. I think this is much better in, like, well, obviously red-white, and red-black. It's probably okay as well. It just... This deck isn't super aggressive, and if you're ever forced to block with this, it's just a 2-mana 0/3, which is really never great. So we're going to see if we can pick up maybe at least one more escape tunnel here. Would like another Deduce, would like another Galvanize and or Shock. And then just some more cards to kind of close out the game. This is kind of a way to close out the game, but I do not think this is a good card. So what else can we take? Burden of Proof. How many detectives do we have? Currently 1. Another Person of Interest. Hotshot Investigators. Granite Witness, I guess. I'm not thrilled with most of these cards here. And Granite Witness, when you can't cast these cards just straight up like Gadget Technician, I think they get notably worse. But I don't think I'm playing any of this other stuff. So I guess I'll take the Granite Witness here. Got another shock. That's exactly what I wanted. There is a Cold Case Cracker as well. But we are looking to control the game with our 1s and 2s here, and then win the game with cards like Vannifar, Intrude on the Mind, and Krenko's Buzz Crusher. Case of the Filched Falcon. How much are we investigating? Deduce. Well, it just has artifacts, right? Yeah, Buzz Crusher, Witness, Technician makes artifacts, Intrude on the Mind makes artifacts. Is that better than another Technician? I think it has a higher upside than a third Technician, so I'll go ahead and take it here, but I'm not locked into playing it. I haven't been a huge fan of the card, but if we end up with enough investigation and enough artifacts, I think it's fine. Speaking of fine, and speaking of more than fine, Out Cold is exactly what I like in these kind of decks. Gonna go ahead and take our first copy here. A second Forensic Researcher makes Intrude on the Mind more likely that it gets cast on turn 3. It's also a nice little roadblock against aggressive decks. Now, our 4s are a little heavy right now as far as how many we have. Probably not looking like a Person of Interest deck, to be honest. And we'll see what we want to do with these 4s and what we can get. Because, see, here's another 4 that I do like. Harry Dronesmith. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing anything else here, so I'll take this, and we're going to have to figure out which of these 4 drops we actually want to include in the deck, and which ones we're actually going to cut. There's going to be a few that will get cut here. All right, I think there was another Reasonable Doubt in that pack, but it did not wheel. But that's okay. I think 2 is fine. I don't know if I would even play 3. We'll see. Don't think I'm playing Mask Maker. Probably not playing Hustle Bustle, and I'm probably not playing any of that, to be honest. I could play Investigators, you never know. Alright, what do we find in the third pack? We find another Galvanize. Always fine. We find an Escape Tunnel to help find more green mana. Cornered Crook, probably not. Concealed Weapon, fine. No Witnesses, probably not. Outfitter, we do have a Thinking Cap, but I don't think so. I think we're just going to go ahead and take the Galvanize here, and like I said, take all the 1 and 2 mana cards that you can hold up and interact with. Speaking of 2 mana cards, there is a Gleaming Geardrake, and this is something I will take. This card is great. Now, I would like at least one more Escape Tunnel here. I do think Push and Pull is actually pretty good too. Or at least Pull. But if you don't have the option to cast Push, it probably makes it notably worse. But we are blue-red, which means Gleaming Geardrake will work out just fine for us. I think this is a spot where I might actually just take the unauthorized exit. Like I said, I've said what I want to be doing today, and that is holding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now 8 1 or 2 mana spells, and I can counter their spell, I can kill their creature, I can kill a smaller creature, I can bounce their creature. And I absolutely do want an unauthorized exit. I think Mistway Spy is fine, but I don't think it's great for this kind of deck. We're going to be winning with Fanafar, Intrude on the Mind, Buzz Crusher, things like that. And we're going to be controlling the early game here. What is this one? Non-land card that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. No thanks. How about another Out Cold over Courier? Crime Stopper Sprite could actually be pretty good. I think we're going to be decent at collecting evidence in this deck, but well, Out Cold is another 4-drop, but I do really like it. Yeah, I think Out Cold is too powerful. I'm going to go ahead and just take that there. All right, another unauthorized exit. Sure. Another shock. Sure. This is going to be an interesting deck. I'm excited about this one. It's definitely a different style of blue-red than I think is common here. But 3 shocks, 2 galvanizes, a bunch of bounce and card draw. Ways to control the game, and then you just drop a Vanifar and a flying creature and win later. Don't think I need that. I could play a Riftburst Hellion that just flips up later. I don't think I need Bubble Smuggler. That just is too low impact here. How about 4 shocks? I'll play as many as you give me. Cornered Crook, probably too expensive for what we're trying to do here. We're going to have to cut a couple of cards, but I think that should be fine. Reasonable Doubt, number 3. I don't think I'll play 3, but we'll see. I don't think I'll play 4 either. This is going to be an interesting deck build, and I'm very excited for the games here. Win or lose, I think this is definitely a unique deck in the format that I think has the ability to be pretty good. Maybe we could even play a Furtive Courier, I'm not sure. We will have to see when I get to deck building. Just look at this interaction down here. That's just crazy. You want your interactive spells to be cheap, and these sure are. So, and last bit confiscation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build this deck, and we'll see where I ended up after deck building. Okay, so here's where I ended up, and I'm super excited about this one. 4 shocks, double counter spell, a card draw spell, double bounce spell, double removal spell, double interactive spell. Including Geardrake, Buzz Crusher, Technicians, all in the air, Vanifar, which is just a bomb, off of an Escape Tunnel in a forest here, Intrude on the Mind, which is another bomb, Researcher to ramp out those kind of things, and yeah, I think this looks quite good. We might struggle against some of the bigger decks, but I think Out Cold does a really good job against cards like Riftburst Hellion and random 5/5s. And we're going to try to win in the air. This is going to be interesting. We got to get 2 wins before 0 losses to see if we can make Mythic today. I'll see you in game number 1. All right, starting this draft on the draw, and oh, looky there, we have a shock in our opening hand. I think that will be a theme of today's draft. as we do have 4 in the deck. Now they know we have one, but that's gonna be the price of business with shock in our opening hand. So let's see if they play a disguise creature here. Looks like they do. We can't interact with it. And then we'll do this, and we can still hold up shock. And flipping that up if we want to. Mono white or color screwed? Dog walker, there it is, yep. You know what? I think I'm actually just gonna play it. Just play a 4 mana 3/2 with a 1/1 flyer, and I'll trade for both of these dog walkers here. Or both of these dogs. Ghostly Prison. Wow, okay, yeah, sure, that's a card. So I can't attack you unless I pay 2 for each creature that's attacking you. Alright, well I'm not doing anything else with my mana, so I guess I'm doing this. Holding this one back. That's going to make this game go quite long here. Case File Auditor. Let's see if they find anything. Alright, and a whiff. Got all of our interaction, that's for sure. Again, would very much like to have hit land drops, but can't be so lucky. I guess I could have just held that back and... Alright, here's red-white. Let's see if we can stabilize. Red herring. And what else? See what combat trick they have. Nothing? No? Okay. Go ahead and just get rid of their token permanently. I will take another land. And I think I will stop attacking for a bit here. I think we probably still win the late game even with Ghostly Prison on the battlefield. Vengeful Tracker, sure. I can kill all these things. Do I want to trade Technician for a herring, or would I rather shock the herring and let them 2-for-1 me here? I think I'm just going to trade the Technician. And then shock this thing. Go to my turn, draw a land, and I guess... I give them another look by recasting this here. Do I even want to bounce that? I might just play a 6-mana 4/4 here. I don't think I'm going to bounce it, so let's just submit 0. And I can't attack, so go ahead. Drift Not Tracker dies to shock. And Disguise Creature. Ooh, that no longer dies to shock here. Do I have to double shock that? I pretty much do. There's no way I can draw 2 cards this turn, so... I mean, I've got to just double shock it here. And then go to combat, attack here, pay these 2, and then pass. I can trade 4 for 1 all day here. We still have 2 removal spells. Okay. Go to combat, attack here. Oh man, they're flooding hard if that's what they truly are dealing with over there. Go to combat. At this point I can actually attack with both, and well, no, it's still just attack with the one. No, I should have actually attacked with both, because that means lethal is next turn, so... Yeah, that would have put them at dead next turn, and they would have had to chump, so... Just gonna go ahead and... But, I mean, I think it's still fine. Yeah, wow. 9 lands over there. Okay, now I can attack with both. And then I could have unauthorized exits. I could still do that right now. Or they can chump. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I know they get another look at an enchantment here, but they go to 1. And then... Next turn they're dead to the Thopter as well. So they can play that even if they find... I was going to say if they find Makeshift Binding, I guess. What does that? Kill my Thopter, I suppose? Sure, let's see what else they find with this. If they find Makeshift Binding with this, then we have a game, because I don't have anything else going on here. Another case, that's fine. My turn. Sure, we are. This is the game of the lands, that's for sure. They've got a chump. Oh, that was dumb. I had lethal. We'll be fine. I could have just killed that thing with double galvanize, and then they would have been dead, but I think we still have it here. And there we go. Alright, interesting game, to say the least. Let's get one more and find our way into Mythic here. Alright, we're up first this time. And unfortunately, Escape Tunnel has to find blue. Which means we just have Vannifar and a forest in the deck. So we just gotta hope we find the forest before Vannifar. Vannifar just, you know, stuck in our hand all game last game. Didn't come back to haunt us, but... We'll see. Alright. Red-white again. What a surprise. I guess I can crack a clue and hold up shock, just cast this thing next turn. That's the most mana efficient thing to do, so... Pass the turn. I could also just shock a disguise creature if that's what they play. Yeah, I think I'll just do that actually now. And now I can just play the Technician. Next turn we've got Out Cold and Shock. Reckless Detective, that's okay. Krenko's Buzz Crusher, that's also okay. What else do they have? A kill spell here? Combat Trick to eat our Technician or something? Lightning Helix. Okay, yeah, that's a good card. Go to damage, we'll play Buzz Crusher and hold up Shock. Oh. That's busted. Yeah, that happens, sure. Can't do anything about it. A 3-mana 2/2 that kills our 4/4 flying trample. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cute. And they get to sacrifice the artifact here to draw a card too. So it kind of just like this was a free cycle. Do I want... Yeah, I think I actually will suspect my Thopter here. I mean, if they play a reach creature or something, probably like to be attacking with it. Okay, now we can Investigators bounce their Detective next turn. And then if we draw another land, we can Researcher and out cold. If we don't, I will probably just out cold here. I guess now I can do this. And then I think I have to... Well, I don't have to. I guess I... The question is, do I out cold their one creature? Or do I let it hit me for 4, and then they play another creature and I out cold both of those? Can I afford to go to 6? I think I can afford to go to 6 here. So I'll go to 6, I'll let them play another creature, lock both of them down. Oof, yeah, that's fine, this still can't be countered. That's kind of annoying with our Forensic Researcher here, but as we now can't... Yeah, we still can, so we'll do this and this. We'll go Researcher and can shock this thing. Hit them for 6, down to 9. And then next turn, hit them for 7. I don't want them to get the opportunity to flip this thing up here, so let's just kill this now. A Hellion, yeah, I didn't want that to flip. That doesn't matter anymore, so we'll just do this. They're at 9, they play a Detective, and nothing else. So I hit them for 8 here, and then I tap down one of their creatures and still have a blocker. Or do I hold back the Gear Drake? So if I tap down the Griff Knot Tracker, I still have Furtive Courier to chump a Meddling Youths here. Oh, that's also fine. Then I don't have to... Then I don't take any damage this way. This is kind of risky. They could have, you know, direct damage like Shock or something, but I'm going to be chumping whatever I don't tap down. I'm probably just going to chump the youths because I don't want the youths to hit me and then shock me to the face. That's the one thing I'd like to try to avoid here. So... I suppose... Which one do I tap now? If I tap the youths, they hit me with the tracker. Can they kill me from 3 with direct damage? Lightning Helix does it? So I'm planning on chumping Meddling Youths here. And then get the win. Alright. So this is one of those cases where you want to play to not lose. You have to figure out what scenario you would be in that would cause you to lose the game, and then play around that card. Because I was in a very good position to win that game. It's just, what could I have done that would have lost me the game? And I think playing around Shock was important, even though they didn't get priority. I could have ruled it out. I just didn't want to risk anything there. So, look at that. Made it to Mythic. We'll see in the next game what rank we are. Okay, we go first, and we have all 3 of our colors here with the Shock and the Galvanize as early interaction, and Out Cold for whatever happens to survive past that. And we did end up at number 826. We'll see if we can climb from here. Ooh, Researcher on 3 is actually not bad now. Oof. Okay, I mean, I could kill that, but then they could get some bats eventually. Do I want to use a Galvanize on that thing? Might not be the best thing to do, but I think it's okay. Would very much like to hit a land next turn, because if we do, an untapped land, I'd say, because if we do, we can cast Intrude on the Mind on turn 4, just like I previewed in the draft. Alright, found a blue, and... Ugh, come on. And we missed a land drop. Oh, you hate to see it. Okay, let's see if we can somehow come back here. Yeah, you got 2 bats now. Now it's looking dumb that I galvanized that thing earlier. I probably have to shock a bat, which feels horrible. They're gonna 3-for-1 me with Leering Onlooker here. I'm not doing anything. I can't just sit here and do stone cold nothing. Perfect. Just gonna do this now, so they can't flip it up and have it be a problematic creature for me. I've got a great hand, I just, fortunately haven't drawn any lands, which, you know what? Magic do be like that sometimes, unfortunately. What do you got? Basilica Stalker. Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm shocking a bat again. I mean... It just sucks that in like the first 8 cards off the top of the deck, there were no lands. Okay, at least we can cast out Cold now. And then cast Intrude on the Mind after that. Alright, go ahead. I'll hold up Intrude on the Mind here. I don't know what they've got. They could have counter spells, but you can't counter out Cold. But if they're not going to do anything, if they got a counter spell, they're just going to be able to counter Intrude on the Mind, which, again, doesn't feel great, but, I mean, not doing anything else. Okay. Alright, so you're going to give me 2 lands and a Reasonable Doubt, or a land and a Technician here. Okay, get a 2/2 flyer. Oh, hello, Vanifar. I think I would like to actually cast out Cold again, so I can give myself more time to develop out my board here. So I'm going to cast out Cold, hold up Reasonable Doubt, which probably at this point isn't going to hit anything, and also crack my Clue if I, or play Galvanize if they give me a target for that. And they know I have Reasonable Doubt, so it's not really going to do much. In fact, I'm probably just going to cloak it with Vanifar. Sure. Decline to pay the 2, and pass to attackers, and no plays. Alright, we are coming back slightly here. Okay, let's Vanifar. And then I guess I can actually cloak my Buzz Crusher? No. Probably just cloak the Reasonable Doubt. Or I guess I could cloak a land too at this point. Alright, I think I'll just do the land to start here. And no attacks, because this could be like a Basilica Stalker or something that could eat it. So go ahead, hold up Doubt, Galvanize, and Clue. Specialist bouncing Vanifar. Okay. I'll probably just galvanize the 2/1. I can't pay the ward on the disguise creature right now, as much as I would love to. Well, they actually left me an opening here. I can counter this because if I reasonable doubt, they have to pay 2 and pay 2 for the ward. So yeah. Alright, next turn we can Vanifar and Buzz Crusher here. And then cloak something if we draw something we want to cloak. Oh gosh. That's brutal. Take 6, go to 5? Okay. Now what do we do? Everything flies, huh? So, Buzz Crusher, Galvanize, and Gear Drake, potentially? Just to, like, protect ourselves in the air? Yeah, push and pull. I mean, pull is a great card, and that certainly did some damage there. Come on. Ridiculous. So if this makes combat to us, they gain life. We don't lose life. So we go to 1. And then we're dead on board currently. Or do I have to chump that? Or, I mean, I guess trade with that. I might just have to trade with that. Go to 2. That way we're not dead on board. Okay, that's not too bad. So let's do Vanifar. And then combat Cloak a Mountain. Trade the Thopter for the 1/1 and bounce the Stalker here, I guess. Oh, I can bounce my own Buzz Crusher too. So I can chump their 3/4 and bounce my Buzz Crusher. That might just be better. Because then that eats the Stalker next turn if I want it to. If they don't have removal or something. Go to combat. Cloak the land. Attack. Because these aren't doing anything else. Go to damage. I guess if I draw Galvanize exactly, I can kill their Stalker here. Alright, now if they have removal for Buzz Crusher, we lose. They have at least one non-land over there. I feel like if they had removal, they would have snapped it off and killed us. So, it's probably not that. Alright. They do have an instant, though. Oh, that's great. In fact, is that lethal? No. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 from Vanifar. Oh, that was almost so busted. They almost just completely destroyed us here. With Outrageous Robbery, we had a draw card on the stack with 8 cards in the library. That's hilarious. And we top decked a Reasonable Doubt. Oh, man. Alright, let's go ahead and bounce this thing. And then cloak the land and hope they don't have 2 points of damage to the face and then they're dead next turn here. That was almost a hilarious way to lose a game. And by hilarious, I mean very tilting. Alright, what a game there. That was a good one. Moving up to 718. That's a large jump with just 1 win. Alright, starting on the draw this time. No blue mana in hand, but we do have Shock and Galvanize, as well as a Disguised Creature if we need it. Already have our Forest, and if we find a blue, then we just need a couple other good cards off the top to let us be on our way. Not what I meant by find a blue, unfortunately. No, don't need more red either, I guess. I'm just going to do this here, because playing red-white could very easily be a dog walker. I just don't want them to flip whatever they've got. And it was a dog walker. So we did not let them have the opportunity to flip that card there. Another red. No, that's not gonna do it for us here, unfortunately. Makeshift binding, getting rid of our gadget technician. We could have actually flipped that next turn, but now we can't do anything. Okay. Now we can flip it, I guess. Really? Mountain? That's like the worst thing we could have possibly drawn. If any one of these were an island, this game would probably be over, and now it's over in their favor, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, so this thing could very easily be a Bullrat Clan Basher. They didn't attack with it earlier. Now that they got the second mountain, I think this is Bullrat Clan Basher. We're not dead to it. So I'll let them flip it and hit us for 8, I guess. That's exactly what it is. Go to 3. And now we just have to out cold here. And find another shock somehow to kill this thing. And this also has... which one? I guess if we do this, we're not dead to like a shock or something. So I guess we'll do this here. Shock. No, another island. Intrude on the mind. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just cast Intrude on the Mind here and see if I can find an answer to this thing. Reckless Detective gives that flying. I then have to chump. Sure. Or I could trade with the Thopter that I get. Okay, not really where we wanted to end up, unfortunately. In fact, all this is really not great. We need shock or galvanize, pretty much. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could do both of these and cloak a card and maybe somehow we survive, but we have to block that with 2 creatures. And we have to block that with 1, and then we have to block that with at least 5 points of toughness. Darn. We just got stumbled on lands. Like, we need about 2 more turns here. If I could have 2 turns, I could easily turn the corner here. It's just we stumbled on lands so much that it didn't really work out. So we're going to have 3 creatures, so we have 5. So we double block, single block, and I don't know, maybe we have enough. I'm not even sure. I haven't done the math here. Ah, +2/+0 to the trampler. That should almost assuredly do it. 12 points of trample. I have to block, block, block. Double. Go here. I take 4. If I double block the Clan Basher with the Buzz Crusher and the Vanifar here. So if they attack with all, then I lose. Alright. Yeah, just stumbled on lands. Is what it is. And then lost almost 200 mythic ranks because of it. Okay, we go the first this time. We at least have 4 lands and all of our colors, except green, but have some interaction, have a creature. And we'll see if we need to kill or bounce anything here. Green, black, Leering Onlooker. I think I can pass on that land, though. Go ahead, Courier. Next turn we can play Drake, hold up, Galvanize, and crack a clue. Potentially, if we want to. Disguise creature, sure. Will I trade? Yeah, I would trade. Sure. Let's do this and then hold up Clue and Galvanize, I guess. I do think I have to Galvanize the Tunnel Tipster, fortunately. I think it's just... it provides too much synergy for those kind of decks, so... Go ahead and just disguise this thing now. Not holding up Galvanize, but do have Out Cold here. 5 mana, what do you got? Insidious Roots, interesting. Yeah, I think I'll just play Forensic Researcher here. So whenever a creature leaves their graveyard, they get an 0/1. Oh. Okay. I hate Azoni. Well, I can't say that. It led me to a 7-0 deck, so I can't even say that. The good thing is I can kill it, but I have to have a clue and crack it on my turn. As long as I've drawn 2 cards this turn. So yeah, I have to do this and then crack it on my turn, draw 2, kill Azoni, so... that's what I gotta do, I guess. Rubble Belt Maverick. Binning 2 lands. Nice surveil for you. I don't actually care if Azoni attacks this turn because they can't collect evidence, so I think I'm actually going to out-cold these 2 because I plan on killing Azoni here at some point, like on my next turn basically. And I could actually tap it down still with the Researcher here. So That way I just prevent some extra damage. I'm not going to crack the clue because next turn I need that to kill a Zoni again, so... So let's do this. Let's do this. And then attack with these two, I guess. Sure. Okay. So they do get to save. No, okay, they'll just kill our Gear Drake, I guess. That is a card that makes itself leave the graveyard for Insidious Roots, and so does Leering Onlooker, so they're going to be getting a good amount of plant tokens here, which is going to be kind of annoying. I mean, they don't have a second black, though, so... Although, never mind. Well, now they do anyway. They didn't even need to tap their creatures for it. So now they can just get multiple triggers here. Alright, they got a sweet deck. I haven't seen this kind of deck yet. Their deck is certainly really sweet here. So they're getting triggers, they're getting Insidious Roots triggers, all sorts of stuff. So good for them. And if I lose to this deck, which I most likely will, then good for them. So they can make 2 tapped bats, which makes another plant, puts a counter on all their plants. Why do they attack with that? Do they have a combat trick here? So they can trade this plant for the Technician here. Yeah, do that. Resolves. Sweet. Awesome. I mean, this is a fine way to go out, because these kind of decks are fun. Oh, they've got more Macabre Reconstruction. Alright, well, I'm just not even going to try to play against that. I've played that deck before. Not quite with the synergy they had, but bringing back Azoni, and yeah, just not willing to play against Azoni twice. Alright, starting on the play here, and don't have a great hand, but single mana lets us at least have a Researcher and be able to untap something, have more mana. Obviously would like a red. I'll bounce anything they play here so I can get another look at another land. I gotta keep it. I can't be too picky. Because now, if we draw an untapped land, we can cast a turn 4 Intrude. Said untapped for a reason. Darn. Oh, wait. No. Still can't cast Intrude, unfortunately. But we can... Do we want to Galvanize or Technician here? I think I'm just going to Technician... Tunnel Tipster is good in these green-white decks, don't get me wrong. Neighborhood Guardian, that's probably a better galvanized target. So in order to do it this way, I have to... If I cast this at instant speed, I have to miss a land drop this turn. Which obviously isn't great, but I could get a Thopter that could eat a creature, maybe. So... I think I'm just gonna... do that. Ugh. Yeah, white aggressive decks. They're just sometimes a little bit too good. I don't think blue-red can keep up with the white aggressive decks in the format, unfortunately. Am I supposed to just galvanize this now? It's just so woefully mana inefficient here. All right. Probably got to split it like this. I want the out cold, and I think they're going to give me the 3 card, so I don't get the out cold, because that is the thing that gets me back in this game. Oh, they gave me the out cold and a 3/3 Thopter here. Okay, well then in that case, let's see if this trades. It does not, but that's okay. We just traded part of what we've got going on. Now we can galvanize and out cold, so let's do this. I'm gonna kill this thing before they get any sort of triggers on it. I probably shouldn't have done that, only because I have Hotshot Investigators coming and I could have bounced their token, which would have been pretty good for me. I meant to also do this on upkeep, that way they can't get the mana from their tipster, but... But that's okay, I don't think they're going to use that mana. Well, they could use it to crack the clue, I guess. Let's hope they don't use every single bit of their mana, then it's a little bit of a punt. Flip up, Vengeful Creeper, destroy my clue. Okay, okay. Guess I'll bounce this thing just to reset it here, and then pressure their total again. And obviously Vannifar not looking great when you don't have your green. And I think we already used, yeah, we already used Escape Tunnel, so Vannifar's not going to do much here unless we can find our forest. That certainly doesn't do anything. Okay, they go to 8. I'm just gonna tap down Creeper, I guess. Probably can't attack with this as long as this is back still. Unless I choose to tap it right now and get aggressive here. That is something I could do. Pay the ward too. I'm at 15 and probably not at risk of dying necessarily. And I do have 3 more shocks in the deck that could go to face. I think I'm gonna go for it. It's a little risky, obviously, but... Do I shock this now? Because if they flip it up and it's like a... one of those, like the crowd control warden, then it's like a 7/7, then it just blows out my shock. But if it's a 7/7, I'm losing anyway. I mean, I don't know what this is, but... I think our best chance is that it isn't something huge. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're not beating 2 5/5s and stuff as well, so... Plus now they have a 7/7, so... That was the turn of the game there. I kind of went for it a little bit. If they didn't have anything, and then that was just like a nervous gardener or something, I think that would have been totally fine. But they had a hexproof trick and another 5/5 underneath here, so... You know... Take 12, I guess. And it killed our Thopter, which I was going to plan to chump block with at least once. So, yeah, it looks like we got this. We got this one dead in the water, unfortunately. So, and there's a land. Usually, my my deck likes to taunt me whenever the game's over. They're like, just in case you thought you had an out, we're going to give you a land. All right, 3 and 3. Wasn't great. I don't think we had the best of matchups for the deck that we built there. We did manage to make it into Mythic, so at least there's that. I think my Vanifar Splash was a little greedy with just a Forest and an Escape Tunnel, because if I had to use the Escape Tunnel to get either blue or red, I had Vanifar Stranded in my hand 2 of the losses, which was probably a big reason why I lost those games. Intrude on the Mind, what do y'all think about this? I mean, every time I've cast it, it's been good, but like, this is 2 days in a row I've had it, and honestly, I'm at like B- with this card right now. It's good, it's just not, it's not busted. It doesn't do as much as I want it to do. Shocks, Galvanizes, Reasonable Doubts didn't do a ton. Exits were fine. Alcolds were great. Buzz Crusher just got 2 for 1. Kind of sucked. It kind of just ran up against some bad matchups there. I think the deck had some promise. It just didn't really work out today. And that happens. So, here's what it is. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.